All right, let's cut to the chase, my friends. Time to get into this phone call. Um, just want to make sure that you guys can follow along. I can rip through this thing like three people on a party line, but I want to make sure you guys can follow along. So let's recap the art side of this real quick. Right, the art side is the acknowledgement. Right. Yeah, I hear you repeating stuff back. There were multiple things that fall under acknowledgement, right? Repeating something back that you said and just saying, let me be clear is acknowledgement. Just repeating back. So what I heard is this is acknowledgement. Just saying someone's name is acknowledgement. Saying what they've already told you is acknowledgement. So there are many things that fall into acknowledgement. So number one is acknowledgement. Number two is asking permission-based questions. And I love the art of this because it serves a dual purpose. It keeps you in control, in charge of the direction of the conversation, while at the same time allowing the person on the other end of the phone to tell you what direction they want it to go. Now, that might sound like it runs in opposition, but if I ask you a permission based question, if we can go in this direction and you say yes or no, you're actually in control of the direction, correct? Correct. Yet I'm asking you that yes or no question at that point because I know the direction I want us to go. So whether you say yes or no, I know where we're going to next, and then I know I need to get us back. So these yes and no questions are really important. And I'll probably break that down a little bit in this call. And then lastly, the biggest thing, and I got to tell you, it is the missing ingredient everywhere. And I cannot emphasize this enough, is this listening, right? If we're truly going to acknowledge and we're truly going to ask permission based questions and know what we need to do, then we need to be listening. If the number one thing we need to do first on this phone call is to get the problem to be solved, and then I never use that again, I never acknowledge that again, I never repeat it again, then it defeats the whole purpose. So this listening part of the art and science of selling is what is missing the most, even to the point that I listen to phone calls. I hear people say things. Right? I hear the people taking the phone call, asking a question, getting an answer that we need, and then never using it again, and then go back and going, why did you ask that question? What was your intent with that answer? Right? We've talked about this a lot, asking better questions. And if you really understand the questions and why you're asking them, then you can develop better questions. Okay. So you're going to hear acknowledgement, you're going to hear permission-based questions, and then, of course, you're going to hear me repeat back things that people have said, right? Which says I'm listening and makes it easier to acknowledge. All this stuff is just so interwoven, you can't separate it, right? Cool. This episode's probably going to be a little longer than you're used to. Yet, if we're going to talk our way through this phone call, it's going to have to be a little bit, okay? So let's see. Me answering the phone is Jerry, right? The person on the other end of the phone is going to be Joe. We're just going to make this simple, right? And we're going to go from there, okay? So my name is Jerry. I'm answering the phone at ABC Physiotherapy, all right? So it goes ring, ring. I say, hello. Hello, this is ABC Physiotherapy. My name is Jerry. How may I help you? Yeah, hi, my name's Joe, and I'm having some low back pain, and I want to get scheduled for physical therapy. Joe, I'm so glad you called us here today at ABC Physiotherapy because we help people with back pain. And I'm also sorry to hear that you're having back pain. Now, in case you missed it, my name is Jerry. Okay, so there's the acknowledgement, my friends. Now I'm going to go straight into a permission-based question. So, Joe, what I'd like to do next is this. I'd like to get some more information from you and make sure that we here at ABC Physiotherapy are the best fit for you and that I have an expert that is available to help you with this low back pain. So, in order to move forward to that conversation, Jerry, I need to collect about 5 things from you first to get you into our scheduling software. So, once it's time to schedule you, we will be prepared to do that. Will that work for you? There's the first permission based question. And of course, they're going to say yes. Then I go through and I get Jerry's first name and last name and date of birth and address and whatever else I need. But the bare minimum, because stuff like doctor's referral on how they're going to pay, right? You guys know from the 5-step process that that's going to come later. So it's the bare minimum to get them into the EMR. Joe says, yeah, that'll work. So I get that information. Now, here we go into finding the problem to be solved. I need to ask a better question. The majority of people say, tell me what's going on. The majority of people say, tell me a story. Literally, tell me the story of what's going on. Tell me something. Most people are asking too broad of questions and then complaining when people share their story. I'm like, you ask them for their story. So the thing here is we want the problem to be solved, right? And you guys heard me at the beginning. I told them the goal of this call was to make sure we have an expert for them and that we could actually help them. We were the best fit to help them with this low back pain. Okay. So the question I want answered is, why did you call us today? You know, what has led you to call us today? So really, I'm going to ask, so Jerry, what I'd like to do next is move forward and make sure I can find the right expert for you and that we are the best fit. So here's what I'd like to know next is what is it that led you to call us today, right? This back pain you're having, what is it you're having difficulty? And I might even clarify it, right? Because I could do this. Tell me when this started. Tell me what solutions you're looking for, right? And tell me how long this has been going on. Boom, we're there. Now, if Joe defaults to saying, well, about 20 years ago, I have asked him very specific questions. So I like to say I've earned the right to politely interrupt him and redirect him. If I say, tell me your story, Joe, and he goes back 30 years, that's what I asked him. And have I earned the right to politely interrupt him? I'd say no. So the fact I said, right, and how I did say how long this has been going on, but I did say it in the context of, right, what you can't do now. You guys all catch that, right? So that's the question I want answered. So Joe starts. About 2 weeks ago, I hurt my back at the gym. Well, now I have some useful information already, right? I was deadlifting and just had a quick sharp pain in my back, and it just hasn't been any better since. Oh, I'm so sorry to hear that, Joe. So you haven't been better since, but have you been back to the gym? No, I have not. So is it safe to say returning to the gym is one of your higher priorities of why you called us today? Yes, it is. Now, problem number 1 to be solved. Now, Joe, is there anything else in your daily life that this back pain is giving you trouble with as far as like in the morning time, during the day, or during the night? Yeah, I'm having about 30 to 40 minutes of pain in the morning right when I get out of bed. It's making my mornings awfully hard. Okay, Joe, is that something else you're looking for us to help you with, right? To solve this problem with you? Yes, it is. Okay, Joe, appreciate that. We definitely have experts here that help people get back to the gym pain free and get out of morning. So this is good information, but I do want to follow up. So already I'm setting the stage that we have the expert for him, right? Setting an expectation. And I'm doing all this, right, so far through listening, through asking a question, listening to the answer, and reconfirming by acknowledging, right? Right. So we do have the expert, but I want to ask you a couple other questions. You mentioned this been going on for about 2 weeks. Yeah. So have you done anything? You said you rested, but have you done anything else? Have you done any physical therapy? Have you seen a doctor? Have you done anything during this 2-week period for the low back? No, just the resting, and it's not really helping. Okay, that's great. So Joe, have you ever had physical therapy in the past for this condition or any other condition? Oh yeah, I had a shoulder problem in the past and I saw a physical therapist. Right. Now, you all know this is an important question. I get asked this all the time on the secret callers. But the problem is that just opened the door to actually getting the expectation. Expectations correlate with research. So if I ask them if they've had physical therapy before and stop there, it's useless question. So I asked Joe if he's had physical therapy before for his low back pain. No, but I still need to know if he's experienced anything like physical therapy because I want to know what his expectations are around physical therapy and what has helped him in the past or not. This is huge. Nobody makes this transition. Nobody, except for the people I've worked with. Seriously, nobody in all the secret callers I've done have made the transition. So then I asked him, oh, so you had physical therapy for your shoulder. Would you mind telling me? And I'd say, how'd that work out? Oh, it went really well. Oh, okay, Joe. Would you mind telling me what, worked best for you during that bout of physical therapy? Oh, yeah. When my physical therapist got their hands on me, it really helped to get the pain down and control that pain and allowed me to get back into doing exercises I wanted to do. Oh, great, Joe. By the way, here at ABC Physiotherapy, we do hands-on work, and the experts I'm looking at to get you on the schedule with are hands-on physical therapists. So that's great that you shared that with me. Boom, setting and managing expectations. Then I'm going to say, was there anything during that time that they did that you didn't like? Oh yeah, I didn't like being left alone in the gym, on my own to do my exercise. That seemed like a waste of time. I document this and I share this with their provider. And then I'm also going to reassure them that, by the way, Joe, here at ABC Physiotherapy, nobody is ever left alone in a gym to do exercises on their own. I can guarantee you that 100%. So thanks for sharing both of those with me. Now, Joe, based on this back pain, now I need future expectations, right? Based on this back pain. And again, you guys hear this. I'm just acknowledging and using everything he's telling me to share with him back how we can deliver that. He told me what he values. He just told me what he doesn't value. I need to repeat that back, how he's going to get those things or not get those things here. This is what he's going to commit his time, money, and energy to. Okay. So, Joe, I appreciate you sharing all that with me. Tell me, what is it you're expecting from us? You called us here to help you with that back pain. You've had some experience with physical therapy in the past, but what is it you're expecting from us during this course of care? Again, rarely, ever. I've never been asked it, right? The people I work with, so I do hear it on recordings. These people I work with ask it, but nobody has asked me this. These expectations are going to correlate with outcomes. If the goal is to, get someone to arrive, pay, then stay, I must address these expectations. I cannot stress this enough. Everybody blows over this. Okay. Well, you know what I'm expecting? I'm expecting to find out what's the problem with this low back pain. I'm expecting to get some exercises to do. And then I'm expecting, to have some, exercises to do at home. Oh, great, Jerry. You know what? All that's going to happen on the first day with the expert I get you set up with. So that's good to hear that, yes, we can deliver on that. Boom, right? Now I go straight into getting them scheduled. Right now, I don't want to break the whole call down. I got bad news for you guys. I want you guys to hear how we use this art of the sell. Right? Maybe I'll keep going. I'll probably keep going, but we may not. Right? It's going to seem really choppy, but I want you guys to understand how this is all coming together. So I'll tell you what, I will go on, and then I say, you know what, Joe, based on all those things, like I said, we do have experts here. I've got 2 experts I'm looking at. By the way, it can't be everybody. It can't be we all do this. It cannot, my friends. It cannot. So again, I'm going to say I have an expert, or I'm looking at 2 experts here that I know that are currently helping people with their low back pain, and that are currently and have in the past helped people get back to the gym and get rid of their morning pain. They also do hands-on care, and I know they will make sure you have exercises to do, right? And will understand the problem before you leave here on your evaluation date. So tell me, Joe, when would you like to get started? All right. Well, I'd like to get started as soon as possible. Let's say he's calling on Tuesday. I'd say, great. On Thursday, right, I have an opening with the expert I was looking at, Dr. Jane Doe. She has an opening at 10:30 in the morning and an opening at 1:30. Which one of those will work for you? Right. Oh, 10:30. Great. I'm going to put you on the schedule with Dr. Jane Doe for Thursday at 10:30. That's going to be an hour-long evaluation, right? And as I mentioned, she's helped people just like you get back to the gym and get out of morning pain. Now I have to sell the hour. Why should he arrive and commit an hour at whatever freaking cost it is? You guys realize we haven't talked about cost yet. So I tell Joe next what's going to happen during that hour. All patients, it's in the research, look it up. It's all patients visiting healthcare providers, and I've looked at this across not only physical therapy research, but across medical research. They want a provider, right, who is an expert. Now, guess what? Expert wasn't defined. They want an expert. And when they followed up, people weren't able to define. They just wanted an expert. Right. So my takeaway is, if you hold yourself in the regard that you went to school with the skills you've learned in the communication and the interview process, you will be perceived as the expert. Right. So they want an expert who will tell them the problem, right? Why can't I get back to the gym? Why can't I do these things? And then they want a plan. They want a plan back to their desired outcomes. If that isn't physical therapy, my friends, I don't know what is, or whatever healthcare, right? This could be dental. This could be chiro. This could be a lot of things. It's definitely physical therapy, right? So then I tell Joe that during that hour with Dr. Jane Doe on Thursday, he is going to, that Dr. Jane Doe is going to go into a deeper dive with him into his history. I will share with her what you've shared with me so far, and then she'll take you through a deeper dive. She will then take you through her hands-on and movement assessment, Joe, to get to the source of this problem so you understand why you're having pain in the morning and why you can't go to the gym pain-free. Boom, I just delivered on the second thing. And then the big thing, Joe, at the end of all this, she will do some treatment and look to make some change in your symptoms or any findings she finds during that hands-on and movement assessment. And then the big reason you're coming, Joe, the biggest thing you're going to get out of that hour long with Dr. Jane Doe on Thursday is she's going to sit down at the end of this hour with you, and she's going to take you through what we call a plan of care. And it's your journey or roadmap back to your goals. She's going to talk about treatment, services, time, duration of all this. So that's the big deliverable. That's what you're going to get from your hour with Dr. Jane Doe on Thursday, right? And then I say, what questions do you have of me regarding this? Cool. Now we go into, how would you like to pay for this? And I'm not going to bust this out today. We're not going to do this today. I'm happy. I'll do another one around cost and how we manage cost. But you guys notice I said, how do you want to pay for this? Joe did not say I want to, right? Joe did not call and say I want to use my insurance. Joe did not call and say I don't have insurance. Joe did not call and say I want to pay cash. So I asked Joe after the value conversation how he's looking to pay for this first visit. I then have the discussion, the necessary discussion, no matter which way it goes, around cost, price, benefits, getting all that to him before he arrives for his visit on Thursday. Right? During that intake, I'm going to get his email also. And now I'm going to recap this call, right? I'm going to share with him, by the way, I'm not going to go through this part, right? I'm not going to go into detail, but I'm going to make sure Joe knows, right? The best way to get people to open emails is tell them they're coming, right? And I work with most clinics to do like an introductory email to the provider, a video. And so Joe knows that he's going to get 2 emails. One is going to be general information, and the second one he gets in 24 hours is the most important one. And I want him to open that to meet his provider, Dr. Jane Doe, right? So I do that right there. And then I recap the call. Now, the recap of the call, right? Again, this is the art and the science working together really well, is to remind Joe why he should arrive. This recap serves one purpose and one purpose only. Remind Joe why he should arrive. And they say, okay, Joe, just to recap, I have you scheduled it this Thursday, March 19th with Dr. Jane Doe. And she is an expert in helping people just like you get back to the gym, right? Pain-free and get out of morning pain. She will take you through an hour-long evaluation where she will take a deeper dive into your history. She will take you through a hands-on and movement assessment and make sure you understand the problem leading you to this back pain at the gym and preventing you from being pain-free in the gym and what's leading you to have this morning pain, right? She will then do some treatment, and biggest and bestest thing you will get out of that hour with her is that plan of care that I described, which is an outline of your journey back to the gym pain-free and out of morning pain, right? Then I would briefly discover cost or whatever I promised him about cost. I would mention the 2 emails coming, and I'd say, what questions do you have of me? Nothing. And I'd say, great, Joe. I'm so glad you called us here today at ABC Physiotherapy. Again, sorry to hear you have this back pain, but obviously you made the right decision and the best move by calling here and getting scheduled with your expert, Dr. Jane Doe. I look forward to seeing you Thursday. Click. That literally is the conversation, my friends. And if we ask better questions, and if we acknowledge, and if we understand this process, acknowledge, expert, what they'll get for their time, money, and energy. Acknowledge, problem to be solved, expectations, right? Expert, what they'll get in that hour, how they want to pay, and then recap, right? Just off the top of your head. And we know that's the order we have to go in, and we know the better questions to ask to get there, then this call will be efficient and move along, just like I shared with you. And you're all thinking, but you didn't deal with the cost. And I'm saying, if we deal with value first, cost becomes less of an issue. I'll do that one of these future podcasts, not the next one. But that is the art of moving through the first phone call, of taking that information, acknowledging, listening, and asking permission-based questions over and over and over again, so that you can move this person in the direction that they need to go. And by the way, you notice I asked them, what questions do you have of me at 2 very important junctures? I don't wait till the end, right? After I get them scheduled with that expert, now what questions do you have of me? And after I told him what he's going to get for that hour. By the way, you know what I didn't do is I just realized is I didn't reassure him that during that hour, right, he would get some hands-on care and get those exercises to take home, right? So I want to make sure he knows his expectations are going to get delivered on. So he has expectations that I manage. Yes, we do all that. And then other expectations were set, what you will get for the hour. Now, here's the kicker for this, and I'm just going to jump ahead real quick. I've just set the provider up for success. All Dr. Jane Doe has to do is take them through the evaluation. Make sure she tells him what his problem is. You like that? What his problem is at the end of the objective, and then sit down and go over that plan of care very distinctly. Make sure she does some hands-on care. Make sure she gives him some exercise to do, right, during that first visit. And that's it. All right. So that's the conversation. And we will get back into this again next week. Thanks again. Bye-bye.